were critical to creating revolutionary reforms and who had the fortitude to stick to those reforms for over a decade. They drove this achievement, and they are changing kids' lives on a day-to-day basis. I also want to thank community institutions and leaders, our Mayor Mike Rawlings, and especially the Dallas Regional Chamber under the leadership of Del Petrosky, who made it a point to make education a top priority, if not the top priority, for our region. And when the going was tough, stuck with Dallas ISD. I want to thank our current and past board members who work together to try to put in place these changes that are making a significant impact in kids' lives today. And I want to especially thank our former board colleague and the current TEA Commissioner, Mike Moran, who had the vision and the wherewithal to make the A through F system a system that respects the work, especially of large urban districts, recognizing the challenges that we face on a daily basis and giving us a fair grade. And then finally, I want to impress upon our community the work that led to these results can only be expanded with your support, and that comes with financial support. This board will take a very big step tomorrow in asking each and every one of you in Dallas County to support us through a tax ratification election. We want to be an A school district. We love the fact that we're almost there. And in order to do that, we need your support, and we need your dollars, and we need the Texas legislature to stand up and help us as well. Thank you again, and Dr. Hinojosa, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Solis. And I too would like to thank the chamber, not only the Dallas Regional Chamber, but the CEO. Dale serves as, he hosts my kitchen cabinet, and I meet with my kitchen cabinet in here once a month, and they help me go through the difficult times that we have as we try to move the district forward. Also AT&T, and they're going to hear from AT&T in a moment, but this is my chance to thank them because they've been a great corporate citizen. They were our first P-TECH partner. Our P-TECH initiative has been phenomenal, and AT&T was the first company that signed up. And now we've got 2 years of history at Sigleville High School with AT&T, and so they've stepped up and they're playing, getting results, helping us get results. So now let's jump into the specifics. I'm not a fan of A through F. I testified against it, and I'm going to continue to testify against it because a simple answer to a complex issue is not always the best way to go. But despite saying that, it would be unfortunate if I did not thank our employees and our students who helped us earn a grade of B. Now let me give you a little bit behind the story of B. Also, one of the reasons that I am not necessarily a fan of A through F is that most of this is based on the STAR test, especially at the elementary level. It's 100% STAR test. And in Dallas ISD, we believe in the school performance framework, which is more than just the STAR test. At the secondary level, at least it's a STAR test and college and career readiness and graduation rate. But for us, in Dallas ISD, we'll announce our school performance ratings in October, and that some schools may not get an A. They may not be an accomplished school because we believe in you also 30% is how much you move the students from the time you get them. And we think that's because if you're talented and gifted, you need to move forward too. If you've never passed and you're not going to pass, you need to get credit for moving, and that's part of our metric. We also take voice, 15% voice. What is voice? The teachers, the students, and the parents get to rate the campus, and that's part of the metric. And we think that culture is very important. And then we also believe in extracurricular activities. The business people tell us they want people that can work in teams, give up their personal goals for the greater goal of the team, and so 5% is extracurricular activities. So we have metrics for those. So our school performance framework will come in October, but 50% of our school performance framework is state accountability, and that's what we're here to talk about today. And so all the academic indicators are going forward and moving up, but we have not finished. We have just started this race, and it's a marathon, and we have a lot more work to do. But specifically, when you see all the state data, we'll have a score of 81. The state applied this year's criteria to last year's data. Last year we would have been a 72. So that shows you that even in this past year, we went from 72 to 81. So even progress continues to occur in every area. In addition, the board has been very courageous. With our ACE initiative, which is total equity, we took and paid our best teachers and best principals to go to the toughest schools, and as a result, all 13 schools that were improvement required last year are off the list. Every single school that was an improvement required are off the list. And 4 years ago, we had 43 improvement required schools. This year, unfortunately, we had 4 that came on, and we'll talk about those in just a moment. But there is significant progress that is happening because courageous decisions have been made, and those schools are coming off the list. By the way, same kids, same neighborhoods, same parents. When you have quality educators and leaders who go to those campuses, you can turn those around. When you look at the specifics, some of those schools that were 4 and 5 year improvement required are now going to get an A. 2 of them are going to get an A. Several of them are going to get B's. Same neighborhood, same parents, same kids, but with a different focus and mindset, you can make significant improvements. So, the story continues. What's also significant when this data comes out by individual school, and this is what is supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to get only the district was supposed to get an A through F. Individual campuses weren't supposed to get A through F. This was supposed to be a what-if year. And the commissioner had until January to tell the schools what their what-if rating was going to be. But today, they've announced a number grade. So if you get an 82, most people think that's a B. If you get a 74, most people think that's a C. If you get a 99, and by the way, we had 6 schools that had a perfect score that got a 99, people assume that's going to be an A. But it's just what if right now. This will be official next year, but it's going to be very easy to tell what these schools got. And what information we have now is that 60% of our schools got an A or a B, and less than 10% got a D or an F, including only 4 schools that got an F, and one of them is a overage campus and they made it on academic growth, but they didn't make it on college and career readiness because it's designed for students who have already left the system and we brought them back. So if they're not even ready for high school, how are they going to be ready for college and career? So the significance continues. The gap in achievement has narrowed between us and the state. We're outperforming the state, Dallas, and we never apologize for our demography. 90% of our students are economically disadvantaged. 44% of our students are English learners. The state has 60% economically disadvantaged. The state has less than 20% English learners. Yet we have improved more than the state in every indicator. Also, we've had a very expensive initiative called Early Learning and Early Childhood. Those students that started in that program have now completed 3rd grade. Dallas ISD has outgained every school district in Dallas County. And by the way, we're the only school district in Dallas County that has this early childhood initiative. And we have 10-point gains in our 3rd grade meeting standard level performance. Some districts had no gains, some districts had minor gains, some had reduction in meet standard, and we had a 10-point gain. So now we're starting to see the payoff of our very expensive but very productive early learning initiative. Once again, we're not finished. There's a long way to go. We need to continue to improve. We have found a way to put our better teachers where we need them the most, and our principals, and we slowed the churn. We have less turnover of principals and teachers, and so now our strategic initiatives have gotten legs, and now the results are paying off. Once again, it's very difficult to put a simple answer to a complex issue like education, but I understand the desire to at least improve our school system and improve our state, and I'm grateful for that. So I'm just the one who talks, the one who really works, is Stephanie Elizalde, our chief of schools, and now you'll get to hear from her. And she's responsible for school leadership at every campus in the Dallas Independent School District. Stephanie?
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa. It's very surreal to be here since I too started as a teacher. So to think about the number of times I've heard friends say, "You work where?" And now to be able to very humbly represent all of our teachers, our principals, our support staff, and as was mentioned previously, we certainly thank our partners. But I would be remiss if I didn't focus on those individuals at the heart of our campus. While we are very excited about this B, and it's really hard for me to even contain how excited I am, but at the same time, there's lots of work that we do know we need to do. We do want to take a little bit of time though, because most of us are always as teachers in a continuous improvement model. We want to allow our campuses, our staff, our parents, our students to take at least a little bit of time to celebrate before we dive into what do we need to do next so that we can get to the next level for all of our students. We will never be satisfied until each and every one of our students truly has the choice of being able to go to college or enter the workforce with a living wage. Often I get asked, what was it that propelled the district to have such success this year? Well, first, and with football season arriving soon, I feel like I work for Bill Belichick. And so, you know, he's been a superintendent for 24 years, and sometimes some of us that are a little bit younger try to, you know, go like, well, what about this? And he always, I've already tried that. This happened. So sometimes we have to learn the hard way, but he never allows us to fail in a manner that would negatively affect our students. So with that growth mindset, we have also expanded that approach that Dr. Hinojosa shares with us of distributed leadership. Our success is because of our leaders. Our principals are key to ensuring that culture and climate reflects high expectations, not just of our students, but in fact it begins with us and our expectations of ourselves. For we believe the teacher is the program. In addition, we have done goal setting and a continuous model of evaluation through formal and informal processes. This allows us to identify student needs and to begin to really strategize specifically at the individual student level. This wasn't magic, it was hard work. We didn't have a magic wand, because if we had, we would have done this a long time ago. And the success is also cumulative. It is demonstrated in today's district letter grade of a B, but this didn't happen overnight. It did start much earlier than that, but it culminated now for us with some really great results for our students and our families. So we hope to continue moving forward. I again want to thank everyone, specifically at the campuses, that allows me to be standing here, even though, as Dr. Hinojosa reminds us, I taught not a single student. What will always stay a part of our continuous focus is Dr. Hinojosa saying, effort is good, results are better. This was a total team effort, and I'm very fortunate to be able to ride the coattails of this district with a success so that we can prove to everyone all our kids can, and Dallas is the place where we're discovering all of their potential. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks for your inspiring words. I want to congratulate Dr. Hinojosa, the great leaders, and all the administrators at their success. And quite frankly, I want to congratulate the kids. What a great job by the kids. That's really wonderful. As an employer in town, that's really encouraging. I also want to thank Dale Petrovsky and the great team here at the Dallas Regional Chamber for their strong support over the years of Dallas DISD and all the work they do every day, week in, week out, month in and month out, to support education across the region in all forms, but particularly with the ISD. I'd like to recognize one of my fellow board members, Michelle Botany, who spends a lot of time working that effort. She heads up our education and workforce policy committee, where education is so important to that workforce development. I can tell you this from the business community. You know there's strong support for an issue. You know something's really important, really must be right when you get into a board meeting of 60 or 70 business leaders who all have strong opinions, who all view things from different perspectives, and you raise the issue of education, and they all say, I'm in. And you say, you know, it's gonna cost you a little more in taxes, and it's gonna cost you some more in time and effort, and they all say, got it, I'm in. And that's what we're trying to do here, and that's what we're trying to support. So this is really a great day for the Dallas Independent School District, but it's really a great day for the community, and it's really a good day for business. Let me say this, as someone who comes from the business community, I understand, and as a finance guy, I understand about how important it is for budgets and targets and measuring performance. I also understand, Dr. Henderson, there's a lot of different ways to do that, and we can have different perspectives on doing that, and the perspectives of the ISD sound like they're very valid and very important, and the perspectives of the TEA have also led to real measurement. What we think the TEA has done here, though, is to give the states an opportunity, the schools around the state an opportunity to measure and compare and then make progress going forward. So we applaud them for that. Second thing I know is these kinds of results, these kinds of improvements, 5 of the top 10 schools in the state, 5 of them are right here at the ISD in the entire state, 5 of the top schools, not to mention the improvement across the board. That just doesn't happen overnight. You don't flick a switch. That's a product of a lot of hard work, some investment, some commitment, some passion, and it's going to take continued investment and continued support by all of us, and to the best of our hopes, by the continued great performance by the administrators, by the teachers, by everybody who's associated with our schools. Many Dallas companies have invested a lot of time and effort. I really say that, and I appreciate Dr. Hinojosa's comments about AT&T, my company. But we do it for a lot of reasons. I'll give you this simple thought process. You know what's good for the community, and education, quality education is good for the community? Well, that's good for my employees. And what's good for the community, quality education, is good for my customers. And you know what? What's good for my customers and what's good for my employees, that's pretty good for my business. So this is just good business. I mean, we want to be great. We appreciate the kind words, but we're doing this for the reasons that this is good for our community. It's also really important that as every child gets that chance at a quality education, that means they get to then grow into a great job and an opportunity to share in all the successes that we've seen across this community. So we are behind it, we are with you, and we are with you for those next set of grades and the next level of improvement and continuing this momentum. Great job, we have further steps to go, and we'll be there for you. And so, while this is a day to celebrate, I just want to close by telling you, we really look forward to the next year and the next year as we continue this great momentum. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank Dr. Hinojosa for just a wonderful team and approach, and your whole team. Thank you very much for what you do for the kids.
Okay, we'll be glad to entertain questions and comments or concerns that you may have. Anybody have something you want to throw at us?